and welcome to Universal Heritage Television Niger. We are glad to have you once again on our breakfast show, Daybreak Niger. Today, we are going to look at the election, the just concluded election for the governorship and state assembly seats in Nigeria. But we are going to be looking and focusing on Imo State than other states. My name is Afam Echi, your host. I have two gentlemen to discuss this issue. On my immediate left is Dr. Ken Wanguma. Dr. Ken Wanguma is the Director for Political Development and Consciousness. Next to him is Ochiaya Frank Mwete, a media strategist. Dr. Ken, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
Frank, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. It is no longer a news. All of you were part of the weekend's election. You knew what happened in the country. Let me start with you, Frank. Can you take a look at what's transpired all over Nigeria and maybe looking at to what extent Inec was able to improve on the lapses of the 25th election, if any?
Well, thank you for having me. To the best of my knowledge, there was no improvement. The only thing we saw was that some results, most results were uploaded on the web from the Beaver to the IRF.
You mean in this election? Or
yes. Okay, when we go to the last election, the Senate and the House of Reps results were uploaded, but the presidential, they didn't upload it. Okay. That's why it looks as if the results, at least particularly for Imo State, when you have a PDP, Labour Party candidates emerged, that it was like the image was very clean. Okay. But there are places like in Olu, those that went to Olu didn't even go to Olu. They were held back in the Middle State because there was a shootout. Those people that the fathers were not coming attacked Olu and also that money. There was no vote.
No, let's be clear.
In the presidential.
In the presidential.
Yeah, I said we went back to presidential. Okay. There was no vote in the Osu, the whole of Osu, the whole of Olu. There's some part of Odu East that was voting. But the candidates had been declared, who has already collected certificate of return. Okay. Then, when you come to this last election, there was also no election in Olu and Osu. There was no voting anywhere in Olu and Osu. But the candidate has been declared. So we cannot, going by that fact, we cannot make any improvement as far as I'm concerned. There was no improvement.
Okay. Looking at Nigeria generally, taking into account other states, what happened in other states?
Well, I was surprised to see that in Canada, NPP, the NPP, the People's Party, has just won the governorship. His son-in-law, who was the PDP candidate in the 2019 election, is the candidate, and he won. They've declared him. Well, that of Kanu.
What is the element of surprise? You said you were surprised.
Yeah, because I didn't expect that with the way I came to jail, when is the election in 2020, what happened? I expected that such scenario would play back again. But it didn't play back. But I want to say it's because of base. Because so what Buhari was to the north at the time, I think is what Ponko says has become in Kanu. So those people, it was easy for them to surround the ballot box because you know the way they behaved, their militancy, they were ready to kill. They uploaded and they took the result. There were no military intimidation like we saw in Imo here. There were no such things in Kanu. And the results prevailed. So NPP won. Look at Adamawa State now. They initially said that the woman, the Aisha, the AP candidate won.
Okay, just hold it there. We'll come back to this, to that. Dr. Ken Wanguma, you were here in Imo State. So can you take a look at what actually transpired? An overview of the election in Imo State at the weekend. Imo, we know, did not do the governorship election. The focus was on the state assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Thank you, my viewers, the good people of Imo State. Honestly, what happened last Saturday in Imo State is laughable. It is laughable. It is a very shameful disposition from Inec. I wouldn't know how to frame it or how to coin it, but from what has happened last Saturday, I can conveniently say that Inec has taken Nigeria back politically for 100 years. Because this has been the worst election I've witnessed as a young man and as a growing up man up till now. I have witnessed a lot of elections. This stands clearly far below the standard expected of Inec. And of course, the ruling party had no option than to capitalize on the willingness of Inec to declare themselves winners in the entire 27 local governments of Imo State, when we all know clearly that nobody voted for them, even when they shared so much money. It does appear that the cash that the banks refused to give out were given to them. They were brazenly sharing money in every booth. But that doesn't even make them to win.
Okay, you are talking about vote buying. We'll come to vote buying. Now, Frank,
yes.
I don't know whether you took an interest in what happened in Lagos, where the Igbos were molested, they were attacked, they were restricted from performing their civic responsibility and duties to the nation. Now, the Yoruba Igbo thing has been playing out for some time now. What do you think is the implication of that for in the national unity? Simple.
They've just set a bad precedent. You know the irony of it, that we thought it was in the north, the corner, that this type of things will happen. Funny, it didn't happen. It happened in Lagos, a place that prides itself as center of excellence, a place that prides itself as no man's land, where everybody have equal rights to citizenship in the place. It was over. They were not hiding. It's all over the place. So that they'll be recorded. They came. If you're Igbo, Omo Igbo, leave. If you're not Igbo, you're going to vote APC, leave. They didn't hide it. And unfortunately, members of security and security agency were there. They were watching them. There was the man they beat up. A man that said he was 55 years. They gave him the piece of his life. What happened? That when he called somebody who wanted to come up, saying, "Nah, please don't come." Say, if you're Igbo, don't come. Just because of passing that message, if he said, "Don't come," they not asking why is this collecting what they said. He said he's not collecting. He's trying to start that people that said he wants to vote for Labour not to come. They pounced on him, started beating him, gave him the piece of his life. They left him to go. When he wanted to move, he got onto a bike. They chased him with another bike, stopped him, tore his chest, took him, gave him triple of the beating that I gave him before. They've just set a bad precedent. Now, you know what we are talking about. Someone will say that Tinubu said he built Lagos. If you built Lagos, just like the Kwakwaso said, he did this, he built the biggest bridge in Kano. By mere proclamation, people just follow you. You don't need this intimidation, harassment, vote by shine the one going from. Someone even laterally became a church usher, was moving from one shopping plaza to another, buying ice cream, eating akara, eating everything. He released vehicle, all the people he detained during the NSAS era, he released all of them. These are things he should have done pre-election, a long time before now, not within the election. People knew it was a political gimmick. They feel buying into it. So when he now saw that all the things he did, becoming a church usher, it didn't work. They resorted to violence, open violence. They were hiding it. They were seeing that they didn't hide their faces. They have just set a bad precedent. See, you know that of the transistors of elections for governorship were done in 28 states, meaning that 28 states, yes, meaning that 8 other states are yet to their governorship, and of the 8 others, about 5 are going to do on November 11, including Imo. What they have just done, I believe, most of these other states will try to replicate in their own states. Watch out what will happen there.
Oh, okay, now I think before now there has been this agitation by the Igbos, IPOB, that Igbos should be allowed to go. Looking at this same thing you narrated now happened at the presidential election. The Igbos were held back because they have a candidate. And now, Ken, let me ask you, do you think this thing has the implication of beating up, justifying that agitation for Biafra?
Definitely, Mr. Moderator. Definitely, the agitation will be heightened. The agitation, because most of us who believe in one Nigeria, but a one Nigeria that is restructured to provide equity, justice, and fair play to all and sundry, to every manner of people and the ethnicity, have come to the conclusion and the realization now that definitely the Igbo man is not wanted at the helm of affairs. If you had watched a video by FFK, Femi Fani Kayode, it was clearly stated there that the people that matter in the country do not and will never allow the Igbo man to be the head of this country. So if you cannot allow the Igbo man to be one of you, why holding him back? Allow him to go. Allow him to go. This is 21st century. We cannot afford to, be involved in another modern slavery. The Igbo man cannot be subjected to another modern slavery. If you don't want us, definitely you allow us to go. So what has happened, we heighten the quest and the agitation for Biafra. Even the most learned that have seen what has happened now, we key into it. We key into it. It's no longer going to be...
the most learned on the part of the Igbos?
Yes, on the part of the Igbos.
The Igbo elites that have been...
Yes, look at what happened. You are talking about Lagos. The same thing happened in River State. The way the Igbos were restricted and other parties were restricted in Lagos was the way they were restricted in River State. So the ugly, the hydra-headed monster have decided to start growing. So nobody knows where it is going to pitch its tent by tomorrow.
Okay, Frank, you see, on the issue of security, before the election, the IGP, the Inspector General of Police, gave an indication and assured that security details, the police security, the orderlies were going to be withdrawn from the politicians. But contrary to that promise and assurance, what we witnessed was a situation where the police, in connivance or in complicity with the politicians, police were used to rig the election. It was very, very evident in so many areas. For example, in Imo State here, we heard of the deputy speaker who used the armored APC, to move around, and the deputy governor too was also alleged to have done the same thing in Kedu, and that was it's a word of intimidating the voters and putting fears and people ran away, so that it gave them opportunity to do what they wanted. Now, who should the police take instruction from? Is it the politician or their boss, the IGP? To have allowed this thing. How do you look at it that at that level a police IGP will give instruction and it doesn't make any meaning to anybody?
Well, not that his instruction didn't make any meaning. There's this in Igbo language that with the economic situation, the harsh economic condition in the country, every other person is looking for survival. And the very least means of survival will be grabbed with two hands. So you spoke about withdrawing the orders. Yes, those orders were really withdrawn. What do I mean by withdrawn? Because they were not in uniform. If they were not withdrawn, they want the uniform declared. So you know what the law said? When you are withdrawn, you don't go with a long rifle. So they all kept the uniform, but went with also their pistols. But what they now did was those that have been officially posted for electoral duties, they are carrying a long rifle. We are now connived. They were now brought into the game. They were brought over. Like you saw a video that had been shot by the deputy speaker, though I cannot independently verify that video, but said it was the deputy speaker that was going around with the armored vehicle. I didn't see the deputy speaker in the video, so I don't want to talk much about it. But there's also this other video that he shot somebody in the chest. I've tried to verify the video, so that's I don't want to talk about it. Like the deputy governor, that of the deputy governor is you need to catch some people. You need to give him a little pity. There's this strong group.
I didn't get you say he needs to be given
a little pity.
You mean the deputy governor?
Yes, at a time.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, in one of my two numerous articles, I said that it's a deputy governor for burial attendance. At a time, he was just attending burial, the president governor burial some other functions. You hardly see him go to other functions other than burial, naming some wedding ceremony. And there's this problem, it has come up several times that is going to be substituted. There was a time they said Shavon wanted to replace him. They mentioned several, but at the last count, they said that Hope, in order to get a deputy senator, they want to pick an NPC man or woman as the deputy. Though I cannot also independently verify this. So whatever the deputy governor will do to show Hope that I am also capable, I can do certain things, he will do. So it is not surprising.
Even going against the law.
Even going against the law.
For them, they said that any system that is bad, any bad system does not look bad to those that benefit from it. So whatever he will do to win his election, for him it's not as bad as me and you are looking at it. We're talking about integrity, we're talking about character. Many of these so-called politicians don't have integrity, they don't have character. All they have is selfishness, self-interest. And whatever they will do to achieve it, of course, they will do it. So that's why we're not surprised. The deputy governor who used his security attaches on both to go asking people, carrying ballot boxes. So what happens to the beavers and the results they say they will upload? Most of these results were uploaded. But if we see the results, APC took 26 out of 27. If it is even that house they said was inconclusive.
No, we'll come to the result. Okay. Now, Doc, do you have anything to say about the police the instruction from the IGP?
Well, what do you expect me to say? The instruction definitely might have been a mere word of mouth that doesn't carry any power as in the past. You understand? It is a very shameful thing that the people who are supposed to be protecting the civilians are the people that are being used to harass and intimidate the entire, populace, to submission. You understand? It's a very shameful thing. It is not only the police, even the military were deployed. Even the military were deployed to assist politicians during the election. Look at what happened. Look at what the system they used. If you had gone around the wards and the polling units on Saturday, you could as well have seen that the election was peaceful.
Peaceful, yes, peaceful.
It wasn't their target because they were working with Inec in Imo State. 100%. So what they did was to take those results to the collation center, where the security, the military, the police, the civil defense,
and the militia
prevented every other party agent and the members from gaining access into the collation center, except the members of the ruling party. And that is where they changed all the figures. That is where they changed all the figures and uploaded what they have previously written. You understand? Yeah. So it is clearly Inec and security versus the people.
Okay. Now what do you? Are you surprised that Inec changed its mind or failed to uphold its promise assurances that was going to improve the situation?
No, I'm not surprised, because the show of shame at the during the presidential election, I couldn't have made them to change, because that was an international shame in public glare. So if they can do that one and they probably tend to get away with it, what is the local elections in the local governments that they couldn't have compromised?
Now, the criticism that trailed that conduct, the conduct of that election, one expected that it's going to get better, and they gave assurances, they gave promises that they're going to get it right this time around. But
it didn't get better.
It got worse.
It didn't get better. It got worse. It got worse, especially from Inec. It got worse. Look at the Enugu election has been delayed. Abia election has been delayed because their preferred candidate, the highest bidder, the people that paid the most this thing, are not winning, and they think that the team must go to the highest bidder.
Now, Frank, let me ask you: can you reconcile the 27/27 as it is now the what is
mantra
that is trending? The APC sweeping the entire Imo State, winning the 27 constituencies. Now, how do you reconcile this or against the presidential and last election where they got only 66,000? Do you think that maybe the candidates who voted for Obi then preferred to vote for Obi and then not like any of the Labour?
It's not possible.
Any of the Labour Party candidates at the state assembly? It's
not possible. What you saw was a result of manipulation.
Okay.
Messy, petty, manipulations. So let me tell you something. In Imo State, there's nobody that doesn't know that MPC Nation is the stronghold of the PDP. PDP has never lost an election in MPC Nation since inception in 1999.
Okay, so what happened this time?
Of course, rigging. Look at High House. When they saw the APC candidate, Samuel Tibe was losing, they declared it inconclusive. But came back to Ore. The noise to not declare him winner. What they've announced that the correction center is inconclusive, that the date for the long if everybody should go. People now left.
That's what Inec announced.
Yes, and it's on video. It's of the people that went started doing meeting ahead of the one that was supposed to come up this Saturday. The Sunday they were surprised. Late Sunday night they now had the APC man celebrate and has been declared winner. It was not possible. Now Bobby said the PDP candidate, Tresio Lamuche, won convincingly. 8 votes have collected. He won convincingly. Remaining for where he has already won. He won over 12. Just at the correction center, the APC candidate came with a prepared result. that they should take. The collection officer refused. That this is not what that you are not a PO. The PO's president officers should bring the result. And look at what they have given us. He said that this is what, but because they refused to play along, he started harassing them. When the PDP members came to the rescue, they made a call. The military now came with a mob, started shooting everywhere. Took the 12 collection officers and the top 10 to the vehicle and left to an unknown destination. Nobody knew where they went to. And the next thing we saw was on social media that the judgment has been declared. Till now, we have not seen the video of the declaration. It was just a social media declaration. In Ezra, we say, PDP was leading with over 200 votes. Inec was leading head and also with over 200 votes. They went to the guy's place, the AP's candidate's place, to do overvoting. They forgot that in 2023 election, what does the law says? You know, before, if you say your word, you have 10,000 registered voters. Inec will give you 10,000 cards. But in 2023, it was explicitly stated that they will give ballot paper based on number of PVCs collected, not registered voters. So if you come to where you have 10,000 registered voters and 1,000 people, 2 people, they give you 1,000 ballots. But you see, there is like over the municipal, they wrote 79,000 for the guy. They don't up to 79,000 people collect PVC. No! I will say that. Go and check the status of those that collect PVC.
It was a political rascality.
Political rascality. They took it to They were not smart about it. Look at 79,000. If you see over the municipal uploaded, which we are watching, the Labour Party was on top of the game. Clinton Amadi had literally won the election. PDP was standing behind him. APC was on distant third. They just said 79,000. But if you check, you know the funny thing, long before now, Inec can release number of PVCs collected in all the wards of the Federation. In all the 304 wards of the state, the data have been there long before now. They didn't care about the data. They look at it, they didn't think about the application. All they were after, their brain was just focused on how to deliver this guy. That's why you see them inflating, overbloated. So it is not left for the judiciary to do the remedy. Unless they want to, just like Chidon said yesterday, that the military have finished their own voting, it's left for the judiciary to come and do their own voting. Of course, we understood what he meant. Yes. But the judiciary should accuse themselves from this type of saying. Let them show that they should that there's still men of integrity amongst them.
The future of the country, the future of the country, from the national to the states, now lies in the hand of the judiciary. If the judiciary will be allow themselves
to be used
to destroy the country, it is left for them. If they want to tell us that they are the last hope for the common man, this is the time for them to brace up and rescue this country from total collapse. Total collapse.
Even sorry, in the election, because of what happened in the presidential, many people refuse. You saw videos of people tearing their PVCs out of anger. Go where we voted. So many people didn't come out to vote. So where are they getting the number of thousand? Or the municipal, or look at the municipal, the smallest of the local government, 79,000. Then that gave Labour 12,000. Then that gave PDP 9,000. That means 100,000 people voted. Where did they come out to vote?
Dr. Wanguma, do you have anything more to add based on your experiences and what happened at the weekend?
Honestly, I'm bereft of words.
Like in your local government, what was the experience like?
In my local,
because the APC swept everywhere, and it appeared that it was the same strategy
everywhere. I've narrated what happened. Yeah. Even before, before the election, we knew that they were coming this way, but we didn't think they will implement the 27/27 mantra. You understand? We knew. Even on Sonkwa, forewarned that look at what these people are coming to do.
Was shouting.
We thought it was a joke. We thought nobody in this 21st century will replicate such a political rascality and impunity. We didn't know they meant it. The same thing that happened in Imbitol is what happened in the municipal, is what happened in the 3 nations, is what happened in Idato nation, is what happened everywhere in the state. After voting in the respective PUs, the results were moved. Even the uploading of the results were not properly done. It was shabbily done. So most of those Inec staff that supervised the election in the booths, we are told how to upload this thing so that it will tick good in the presence of the people around there. Whereas it has not been uploaded. So when they now get to the collection, they will start, doing the whole exercise all over again, and then do the real uploading. That's exactly what played out in the 27 local governments of Imo State. Declare us and let them go to court.
That's the new phrase.
That's the new phrase.
Go to court.
Declare us and let them go to court.
That's breaking more of the judiciary. Yes. I think even small children play, they say go to court.
Mockery of judiciary and democracy.
So it's left for the judiciary to recuse themselves from all this mockery.
Now, you see, from the analysis you are giving, it appears INEC is in complicit with this.
Of course.
Total complicity.
Now, I have seen people protest. I read a statement from His Excellency Governor making Hedra. The Labour Party chairman in the state are also protested, and I think the PDP is also. There's also a statement from Sam Dadi, the former senator, the national secretary of PDP. Now, with all of these things, and they're all taking their protest to the same INEC that is behind all of this.
Yes, to tell them we know what you have
It's
done.
akin to the protest by party agents to the national chairman of INEC, Mahmoud Yakub. As they are protesting, he was going ahead with the collation.
But the part of the protest, part of it is to tell them no, that we know what you're doing, we have seen what you're doing.
Just to thank them for destroying the country.
Of course.
We should thank the INEC for destroying the country.
What is the implication of this action for democracy and for the development of this country?
The implication is that what we now have is autocracy, one man rule in Imo State. It means that anything will now go in Imo State. There will be no dissenting voice, there will be no opposition to anything. Just like when they brought the autonomy legislative bill, you saw how the party, what they did was to call members of the ruling party to now sign. But this was done, every of them will just come and sign. And you know that after during the election, Governor Hope made it to clear to them that I am the one that have delivered you people. I have told some of them, come go out and deliver me. Well, the first thing they're going to do, shortly on the inauguration, they now move a motion from the House. That's what will happen. Move a motion adopting Hope as the sole candidate for the governorship. That's what they're going to do is clear. They've been given the instruction, they have seen this as we speak. When they do it, they start working towards it. So all these things you see that have just happened is because of the November 11, 2023 mock governorship election. Because Governor Hope is desperate to come back as governor. Don't mind that how he came before, they didn't win the election, he came from behind. He knows that based on votes that will be cast on that day, he won't even come fourth, he came the last one. So he's just he feels he's ahead of other kind, but it's not. And I want to assure you that what has happened will have no ripple effect on the November 11 election. It has also opened the minds of people that we're dealing with criminals, that we need to tell them. We need to also be on the watch out. We need to be on red alert for them. That's the implication.
Well, my brother, it depends on what the judiciary will do. If they go ahead and inaugurate a President Tinubu tomorrow, what would you expect? That Hope is going to have any challenge in that election? Definitely there will be no challenge. Definitely. It depends on what will happen between now and the May 29th. But the only thing that gives me confidence is that there is still God.
Amen.
God is still on the throne. Amen. That's the only thing that I remember, and it gives me confidence. Anything God can solve a problem through 1 billion with 1 billion solutions.
Amen.
Okay. So now you said something that do you agree with what you said, that based on what has happened, that Hope was only preparing himself?
Of course.
Yes, definitely.
It's obvious.
He was preparing for the November election.
Like this last election, in Amuzi, here were the words, which is about the latest words in our house. They were 12 and 13. When the APC guy saw he came to scatter it, but they were able to salvage the result. They got 78, he got 21, got 75, he got 21. He had the 2 booths. But when they got to collation center, they insisted that they won't accept the result because they lost. But because the people now saw that yes, this result came from the PO, it was because what happened? They destroyed the ballot paper, not the beavers. So the result was not in the beavers. So the collection officer took it from the beavers. What did they now do? Not play the first one, insisted that the election be declared inconclusive for the result. But he went back to that himself. So this goes to show us what Hope Uzodinma would do on that November 11 governorship election. The desperation to come back as governor. Look at Obo. Obo had a record of not going more than 2 times. But Kennedy had just come for 3rd time. By vote cast, he lost. He contested against the PDP guy, who is from, I understand, is from Ikena, the largest ward in Obo, that have about half of the voting set. And they all voted for him. The candidate that came was declared. These are things he did to also assure himself to arm himself. Let me say, to arm himself, head of the government should come down.
Mr. Moderator, there seems to be a far-reaching effect and implication of what has happened.
That's what I want to know. Because
the
implication for governance. Because I had somebody say in one of his analysis, and it gives company to give. It's a recipe for anarchy, for criminality,
yes,
for people to disobey laws, for people to not, because if people who are in governance got to power this way
through rascality, then they won't respect the law.
So that's why I'm asking.
There are a lot of things, implications.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one, the ethnicity issue had just started.
That's at the national level.
At the national level, because of this 2023 election, and then at the state levels, the sectional dichotomy is rearing its ugly head again. Sectional, within the state, sectional dichotomy, zonal dichotomy. If you might want to use the zones for Okigwe zone, Owerri zone, and the Olu zone.
Yeah, because it will appear now Olu people.
Yes.
If comes back.
Yes.
It means Olu people is perpetuating themselves
in power. And another person from Olu want to replicate the same thing, because to him there is nothing Owerri and the Okigwe can do about it.
And if per chance Owerri and Okigwe, any of them gets power, they will want to play the same way Olu play.
Of course.
Yes. That is what had wanted to happen at Abia. Okay. If not by the grace of God, in as much as we have not, the results have not been declared, but clearly Labour is winning. Clearly, Labour is winning. Out of the 2016, 16 local governments declared, out of 17 local governments, Labour has taken lead in with wide margin in 10, with PDP in 5 and YPP in 1. You understand? YPP? Yes, YPP in 1. So the problem is that because of this rascality, there will be rascality in every facet of governance. Because there will be nothing like legislature again. Yes, the governor knows clearly how to use power. He knows exactly how to use power. He's a power man. You understand, and he has done it to his own advantage. So all these guys that are going to the House of Assembly are just going to be his political toys.
Rubber stamp.
They are going to be his political toys. He will toy with them any way he wants and dispose them anywhere, anytime he wants. You understand?
That's already what is happening. I'm drawing from the comments from the people, because the State Assembly, we really have the moves to APC. The APC originally did not have did not win any election into it. They came and they moved, through.
Bought them over,
and then they became inscripted. And
that was then. With the new electoral law, it is not easy to move from one party to the other so easily like that. So that would have brought the beauty of this present legislator if the correct thing, if the correct thing we are done, at least that would have been balancing in the status of assembly. You understand?
Before we round up the program, we are talking about last question for you. We are talking about vote buying. What happened in Imo State. We saw a commissioner in Bauchi State, who was in the full glare of a policeman, and he was dispensing money to people, and we saw the video.
The police were monitoring the line. The police were
in uniform,
organizing people on the line, asking them to move faster, come forward, to take money from a sitting commissioner. You understand? So it will tell you the level of degradation, incivility that has occurred in Nigeria because of 2023 election conducted by Inec. Why waste 400 billion of taxpayers'
And they made
money?
people believe that it was going to be transparent.
Of course.
People, you saw the rush to get it started, to get PVC. They continue to assure, they assured that it was going to be transparent. People believed them. There was no cause to doubt them. We believed them.
Even the cashless policy, people have now come to
where the money went to
believe that the cashless policy was because of vote buying.
Yeah.
by the ruling
the
party.
one he went to.
You know, okay.
You know,
Because they got all the cash.
Because of what, you know, I told you,
They
people
got all
had
the
no
cash.
reason to that Mahmoud Yakubu. Because of what he did in Anambra, Edo, Ekiti, Osun State.
Yeah.
Like in all those states, yes. When the Akeredolu was declared, the PDP candidates, they didn't go to court because of Akeredolu was declared. He went to court because of how he was nominated. Because he saw that by virtue of the result uploaded, he lost in 15 of the 18 local governments. He won in that even his own local government, Akeredolu won him. In Anambra State, none of them even went to court. Because it was uploaded, they saw that Soludo won. They went to rest. In Edo State, Easy Yamse was not going to court because he saw the result.
Obaseki won.
Yes, Obaseki won. In Ekiti State, what happened? They went to court because of the way they got nominated, not because of the process of the election, because of the process of voting, but because of how they got nominated. So that's why when Mahmoud came out to say the 2020 election should be like that, everybody believed him.
Yeah.
Because he continued to make references to Ekiti, Odo, Shana, but everybody believed him. They even went to dig in Anambra, he stopped the election, and he put it to the next day. That even the candidate, one of the candidates, also, for me, even lost in the Hiala. And the guy said he accepted it. He said he blamed his people, not the people that pressed that watch, because they don't upload it. So people have no reason to doubt Mahmoud Yakubu. Look at what has happened. He just sort of bitched the integrity, his hard-won integrity, and just been rubbished within just 2 weeks of the conduct of this election that just ended.
Okay, your final point, Dr. Wanu.
Yes, I am pained because for the first time in Nigerian history, ethnicity and religion were eschewed. People didn't consider them. They were not factors in voting. They were not factors at all. But the process of collection and the announcement of the result has made people to, have a rethink, you understand, in the electoral system. Even with the one that happened last Saturday, it will take time for people to come back again to trust the electoral system and to even go and register for any further electoral activity. That is the biggest problem we have created, and it is going to last for a long time unless the judiciary will, look at the suffering masses and rise to the occasion and said no, enough is enough. Thank you very much.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for coming to the program. Frank, thank you so much for your contribution. Dr.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to the program. Viewers, this is where we draw the curtain. You've heard it all from them. The problem we now know is with the politicians, and every hope, just like one of the guests said, lies now in the judiciary to redeem the situation for Nigeria. Otherwise, people will no longer be moved to come and perform their civic responsibilities. We hope that something good can come out of this, because people usually say there is always a good experience from a very bad event. On that note, we draw the curtain and say, please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. My name is still Afam H. Thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you, viewers.